and I'm glad you're here with me because we're going to be concentrating in this beautiful Course in Miracles interlude of attempts to demonstrate to each other the possibility that the picturing, the idea of reflected light in correspondence with self-discovery can be made manifest in a new direction of the witness to how we want to see ourselves. Teacher of God, let's begin with welcome for the beginning of a whole new series in the eventuality of the determination that as we begin the idea of sacrifice, the idea of punishment, the idea of loneliness and pain, the totality of the idea of our body formulation, in the picturing of how we intend to represent ourselves, can be varied virtually immediately by a new idea that enters into our frame of reference that allows us at that moment to witness a new picture of a description of how we want to look about ourselves. About ourselves. About ourselves. Look with me, dreamer of the dream. We're going to present to you in this new series of ideas of self-identity the possibility that the notion of a correspondence of light reflection based on self-body identification can be altered in a continuing matter of conversion in the reflections of light that we're getting within the procedure that we find as correspondence of our conceptual body formulation. It's a simple idea that as an advanced teacher of this course, you're going to practice with me the immediate availability that what you previously thought was to be unjustly treated in the idea of your possibility of location in this little interlude of space and time could not be altered immediately by a reduction of the necessity for you to view yourself in a reflected light correspondent that could in no fashion give you a true picture of yourself. This is called A Course in Miracle Conversion of the Reflections of Light that constitute your idea about yourself as a human association in terms of relevant idea of space-time picturing that are demonstrating to you a continuing alteration of that identity, stemming from an innate certainty of causation. Look here with me. Here's a causation in the reflection of your light. Look, when you demand attention to the idea of that correspondence, but like that, when you demand attention to the correspondence of the notation of the attempt to, let's use the term crucifixion just for a moment. It's a fundamental idea that in your dream sequencing of time, you believe it's possible to determine an outcome within your own mind that will not find correspondence with the totality of what you must be deep within your dream sequence. If it is true that the idea of the illusionary nature of body formulation is not what you are. The end of this cycle of time that has been set for you now in this new factor of time. Can you see that with me? Thank you. Is a variation that had previously bound you in the idea that the dimness of the particulars of your mind could not be overcome by single moments of self-recognition that could be described and demonstrated to you by who we utilize as a perfect body formulation. We call the Savior of this world. The moment of the entirety of an appearance of a reflected body identity within who you think you are, in order that you can see instantly that the accumulated effort of reflections of light that had previously bound you within the dream sequence can be altered so that your initial encounter through this Course in Miracles from our Savior, from Jesus Christ of Nazareth, within this frame, can suddenly, within your dream sequence, present to you a brand new picture of who you previously thought you were in the reflection of light, and you can witness to a moment of the entirety of forgiveness where what? You recognize each other as a part of the sequence within the dream. Yet the dream, which is changing each moment in your idea of time, will always give you a provision of a better moment of association within your own mind, if you will let it do so. So that the stories we're telling each other within the frame of the appearance of a single, perfect body formulation will give you a bright new idea about the manifestation you have given yourself within the falsity of your own dream sequence, so that you won't continue to attack and attempt to destroy the picturing idea that you have about yourself in this little hologram of time, wherein you pretend within the idea of yourself you are finding verification of the dream sequence, of the illusion of dim light, where what? You keep suffering condition of association, occupying the body within time, becoming old, and eventually dying into a sequence of the nothingness of who you thought you had to be within the picturing of crucifixion, wherein you have identified yourself as that body reflected formulation. And it's simply not true. Will you listen with me a little more? This is chapter 27 of the text of our Course in Miracle Conversion, where we have trained our minds sufficiently in recognition of the reflected illusionary nature of our correspondent, and discovered a whole new emerging world that's suddenly appearing and settling into the bright conversion that offers us the entirety of the solution of a dream sequence that had held us in this bondage. Listen. You listen with me about this power now of the witness of your picture. The power of witness is beyond belief because it brings conviction in its wake. The witness is believed because he points beyond himself to what he really represents. A sick and suffering you but represents your brother's guilt. The witness that you send, lest he forget the injuries that he gave to you, from which you swear he never will escape. You listen with me. This sick and sorry picture you accept, if only it can serve to punish him. And the sick are merciless to everyone, and in contagion do they seek to kill. Death seems an easy price if they can say, "Behold me, brother, in your hands I die." For sickness is the witness to his guilt, and death would prove his heirs must be sins.